And we're back once again, ladies and gentlemen, only on its last call. Last call with the alcohol, only on over Last Call YouTube channel. Now, joining me here online, this man will be fighting once again. He'll be at the Indigo at the O2 in Greenwich, UK. He'll be fighting Linus Udofia for the vacant BBBFC British middleweight title. While he's looking to get some gold around his waist and, well, basically get back what was once his. I give you once again all the way from it's now Battersea, London, United Kingdom. I give you
Yeah,
Denzel Bentley. Denzel, let's start off with it's you, Linus Udofia. How big is it, not just winning this fight, but just making a statement and start putting your name on, the name of, all these promoters who middleweight's a wide open division. You have multiple champions, not a lot of contenders, and two or three wins. Next thing you know, you're fighting for a big world title.
yeah. Like you said, it's a big fight because I need to win to be able to get to that world stage. It's the steps I need to take to get to that world stage. Like you said, not a lot of contenders, and even at the world stage, a lot of the belts are becoming free. Demetrius Andre just moved up, so that WBO will be free. I think Janabek and Danny Dignam are fighting for it or a version of it. If Golovkin's getting on, he's about 40 years old after Canelo. He's going to retire. That frees up two belts, and then you've got Charlo that's probably going to move up soon as well. So the division's is opening back up. All the guys at the top are, taking different routes in their career, if not coming to end of their career. So these are the steps that I need to take to make sure I can get there in good time and then hopefully fight for one of those titles soon.
Linus Udofia, break it down for me here. How good is he? What do you know about him? And what kind of fighter is he compared to, let's say, the last three or four opponents you faced?
He's a good fighter. He's technically sound. Um, he's got skill. So he's probably not as big as a puncher compared to the last, not the last fight, but the last two fights I had. So, but he has got a bit of skill. So he's a good fighter. I've got to stay switched on and stuff.
You look at his record; it's very. At first, it's impressive. He's 70, as you said. He has 17 wins, 9 knockouts. Last three fights, he started to step up. Tyler Denny, John Harding Jr., Julio Verozzi. How much you look at this and go, you have the advantage in that you face the tougher guys. Mark Heffron, back-to-back fights, you've won and drew against him. Sam Evans, a tough fight. Felix Cash, a tough fight. Mick Hall, a tough fight. I mean, how much do you look at this and go, I've been, where he hasn't. I know what it's like to have those dog fights where it's those middle rounds, later rounds, and you got to really dig deep because plan A hasn't worked, plan B hasn't worked, and you're now going, okay, do you really want it or not?
Yeah, and that's probably going to play into my advantage because I've been there a few times, more than once. It's just that experience. He hasn't been there yet. Not to say he doesn't have it in him, but he's going to have to try and find it on the night. And I might not give him the chance to let him find it. So, I've been there before. I know what it takes. So that doesn't, that's not a foregone conclusion that it will be a walkover. But he has to find it somewhere, and I already know what it takes. So if we both have to dig to go to that level, I'll get there before him.
We're going to go back to this fight in a bit, but think back to your last fight. It was, as we said, it was a big fight for you. It was you versus Sam Evans. It was this past November. What went right? Did anything go wrong? And what was the mentality going into that fight after suffering your first loss and, the loss of a title and having people all of a sudden go, is Denzel that good? We're not sure. Is he worth it here? I mean, what was your mindset going through that fight in the beginning of a Sam Evans fight?
The mindset was just to get back to work, to winning ways. I didn't want a journeyman with like a few losses on the record. I thought a guy that was 10-1. So he still had ambition. He was coming to win. He had a full camp for it. In his mind, he was coming to beat me and change his career around. So I couldn't let that happen. So it was like stay focused, get back to what you do, try and get the things off that you've been working on. So there's a lot of things in that camp that we were working on. So it was like try and get that off as well. I think some of those things worked. and I managed to get him out there in the third round. So, you know, I was in a good mindset. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't panicking. I wasn't too worried about how I look. It was just about getting the job done. I got it done nicely, so that was good.
How big was it for you getting that knockout? You know, getting sort of that momentum back, because you know, as we said, we've seen a lot of fighters once they lose. You know, it's just all of a sudden, you know, you start going, okay, you start self doubt, you start getting, you know, pushing, pushing too hard. You know, you start letting things get to you here. I'm watching this fight, and you know, it's almost like you know you're calm, collective. He's trying, you know, really early on to make it into a phone booth fight, and this fight it seems like it was just all right. You got the knockout. You basically, you know, put everything, you know, quickly behind you. How big was that for you? You know, for getting that loss and getting the knockout quickly.
Yeah, it was definitely big. It was important. You know, it's a confidence booster. Every win is a confidence booster, especially a knockout win. It's always a confidence booster. You know, you start feeling better about yourself. Like, yes, you know what, I am good. I can do this. All these things. But the reason why I was so calm and collected in that fight is because I know why I lost against Cash, and I knew what I had to work on. So it was just a matter of getting back and working on it. It wasn't like, you know, that was the best version of me, and it's like, oh, how good am I? Because that was my best, and I still couldn't come through it. It wasn't. So it was like, you know what, get back to the gym, get to your best, and we move on again. So that's where I am now, moving on again. Had that fight, come through it, but now it's about continuing to do so. I have to continue coming through all these fights. Like, even when I get to that world stage, I still got to come through all those fights. I don't want to just get there and be stuck. I want to get there and come through on top and continue to progress. So every fight is that's the same mentality. They're all big fights.
You said you knew what you need to work on. What did you need to work on? Like from the Cash fight to the Evans fight, what do you feel that was the biggest thing you had to work on?
There was a few things I had to work on, but the biggest thing, like you said, was preparation, not training, just preparation, just, you know, just managing my time better and my workouts and my rest times. It was like I was just sort of winging it, you know, like, oh, you know, yeah, I can eat whatever as long as my weight's not bad, or I can go bed at whatever time as long as this and that, and missing out on certain things and stuff. So it was just like, because you're thinking, yeah, I've got skill, I can box, but there's a lot that goes into it. So in that fact, you could say I prepared to fail. My trainers put me everything that they were meant to put me through. I done anything asked of me, but it was everything outside of the gym that kind of probably took a toll on me. You know, probably burn up in weight, and you know, having to cut too much, and that just lifestyle changes mainly. So now that I've done that, it's about showing that, you know, how good I can be with these lifestyle changes, and you know how better I am when I'm focused.
Well, I brought the focus part because you know you and I talked earlier before the Cash fight, and it got personal. You know, between the two of you. I mean, there was trash talking. He can get under people's skin. I mean, he knows how to just
Yeah.
really just go like that little mosquito here. Watch him with two fights. How much you look at that fight and go, I let it get to him. I let him, you know, bait me into that kind of fight where, you know, there are times you're not throwing a jab, you're letting him just walk in so you can try to catch him with big power shots. You're letting him almost, you know, make him fight your kind of fight, which is a brawl. I mean, how much do you look at that fight, you know, and go,
Yeah.
God damn it, you know, I let it get personal. I should have made it a business and not him just, you know, want me to, I mean, him, you know, wanting me to just slap the crap out of him because he's just a goddamn annoying person.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think I was early. I wanted to throw big shots so I could hurt him a bit too much. I should have just probably I should have stayed more composed and, like you were saying, come off the jab and everything off the jab. But I didn't after a while. I think especially where he buzzed me in the first round. I was thinking, nah, I gotta get that one back. So just staying cool and calm and just sticking to my boxing, because that's when I perform better, to be honest. So it was a bit of, yeah, I let him get to me. So I watched it and I think, damn, I wish I could do that again. But all in due time, all in due time.
It's funny, you can, you know it's better than I do because you live this here. You can prepare for everything in the gym, whether it's, you know, your footwork, your jab, you know, learn, you know, setting up shots, knowing what he's going to do. How tough is it though, you know, preparing for the stuff you really can't. You can't simulate, trash talking and but basically the moment of going into a fight. You can't simulate a guy trying to piss you off because you these guys so well in your sparring. I mean, how tough is it, learning to go, don't let it get to you. Don't let this, guy get into your skin. Don't let with trash talking. I mean, who helps you sort of get used to that so that this doesn't happen again and again?
I guess it's just a matter of going through it, like they say, experience. So now that I've been through that, I kind of know what it's like and what to avoid and what to not let get to me, and what to just take with a pinch of salt and whatever. So you can't really, no matter how many times people will tell you, don't let it get to you. If it gets to you, it's gonna get to you. But it's just a matter of getting through it. So now that I've been through that, I know what I'm looking for next time someone's trying to do that. So I'll be like, wait, hold on, I know what you're trying to do there. Been there, done that. Not this time. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. And where I've been there, I feel like I'll be able to handle it better next time round.
You're gonna ask, how nice was it this last fight compared to the cash fight where you actually had fans there? Because it's weird. I never fight talked to
Yeah,
said it was weird when they fought during the
yeah,
pandemic. Hearing, the opposite, the opponent's corner, hearing your own corner crystally clear. You try to, you try to that, you're used to that emotion, that adrenaline when you're fighting with crowds, and then all of a sudden it's like, crap, it's like just a sparring session in terms of there's only you, your corner, the referee, maybe a handful of media people, and that's it. You can hear a pin drop.
yeah. It was quiet. You could hear everything. You could hear each other breathing, which is unusual. You know what I mean? All the shots that are landing, you could just hear everything. So it was a bit weird. But then because I fought in those circumstances so much, I fought like 4 times behind closed doors. When we got back to a crowd, it just felt mad. But I loved it. It was like, geez, the crowd's back. But it felt a bit odd, like, oh wow, the crowd's back. But it was like, a bit of both. It felt weird, but I enjoyed it. So I'm happy that the crowds are back. Fighting in those circumstances are a bit, it's very boring. Do you know what I mean? It's very boring, but it is what it is. We had to follow procedures at the times, and there was nothing much that anyone could do. But I much rather prefer fighting in front of a crowd, whether the crowd's there for me or not. I'd rather box in front of a crowd.
On a personal note, how happy are you that just things are getting back to normal? I mean, it's been tough for everybody during the pandemic. Some countries worse than others. I know for at times with over the UK it was lockdowns. Guys can't leave, their flats. Guys can't leave their apartments. You're hiding from the cops because you're training, and oh, you're not supposed to do that here. I mean, for you, just on a personal level, how nice is it where it's like, okay, there's light at the end of a tunnel where actually it's normal. We can actually now go about and not have to, wear a mask, be quarantined, not have to worry about, can go to a gym and not have to worry about, oh crap, cops just knocked. Hide, everybody, hide.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's good, man. It feels like things like you said, lights at the end of the tunnel. Because at first it was like you have to watch what you do. Couldn't be here. Couldn't be in a crowd of more than a certain amount of people. Like just doing everything low key. Like you're living in fear, kind of, and that's not nice for anybody. So mentally, it's just nice to just be back. It's nice to be back training without any worries. Nice to be able to go places, go to the shops without having to social distance or wear a mask, and like there's just no restrictions. It just feels like life's getting back to normal. You can focus on whatever you need to focus on, whatever it is people are doing, working, training. You can just focus on your goals without worrying about restrictions. So it's just much nicer. It just feels like life back to normal now. But those 2 years were just horrible. It was just like there's nothing you could do. You're restricted, and nobody wants to live life restricted. So it's just good for me, especially for me, because when lockdown happened, I was meant to fight the month after. Then I went from having a fight a month after we were meant to be locked down, to we don't even know when we're coming back. And that was frustrating. It's like, damn, like, what do I do with myself? You wake up, you eat, you sleep, you're still in the same place. You wake up next day, you're in the same place. It was just mad frustrating. But now that everything's back, it's a lot better. I'm happy.
Let's see, you mentioned at the top of the hour, it's the middleweight division. It's wide open. All of a sudden, after years of an American stranglehold, you're looking around going, Beatrice Andrade is vacating his title.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Charlo and Canelo Alvarez will probably vacate their titles soon. Gennady Golovkin, well, who knows? He might be retiring next couple of years, and you win. All of a sudden, it's maybe a fight with you, Vincent Fiegelbutz, maybe a fight with you, or Kilrain Kelly, or a fight with you, and even Liam Williams down the road, Sam Eggington, all fights which are going to be bigger money here. You first got to get through a very dangerous Linus Udofia fight. So for you, how big is it not to just go, well, if I win this fight, I can then go and take on Liam Williams. I can then take on, Kilrain Kelly, Carlos Adames. Hey, I'm fighting for the title soon. How big is it just to go, I got to focus on this fight and nothing else?
Yeah, it's just very important because, like you said, if I don't come out on top on this fight, then all of that doesn't matter. It all goes away. So I mean, I can't think about any of those fights. So it's one step at a time. I've got to get through this. After this is done, then we can think about all those other guys that are there. But it's just nice to know that those are options and those are there, and that's what's at the other side of a victory of after this fight. But I can't focus on that or let that get to me or let that excite me because I've still got a job to do. I've got to do this job before doing the next one. Can't run before you walk, as they say. So it's just one step at a time.
Very heavily, John. Once again, we are proud to have on the show. I give you it's once again all the way from none other than Battersea, London, United Kingdom. I give you Denzel Bentley. Denzel, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, the Instagram, the website? Where can fans contact you at?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram, both of them. The number 2 _D, both Twitter and Instagram. Or if you type in Denzel Bentley, it should come up because that's my username on it. But the @ is 2 _D, both Instagram and Twitter.
2 Denzel Bentley, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, always on a pleasure having on the show. We come back. Stay tuned for more great interviews coming up here only on It Is Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol only on It Is the Last Call YouTube channel.